Hi, my name's Steve and this is a video to accompany an article I was asked to write for the Journal newspaper in North East England, and it was all to do with the effect of the oil price, the impact it's had on supply chain, and also kind of what companies need to do to diversify and move forward. So what happened? Why the sudden fall from 110 to kind of $50–$60 a barrel where we are now? I must admit it's not an easy answer. There are lots of things to consider, but one of the main ones is all just to do with how global supply overtook demand. We now have a huge number of countries around the world that sell on the global market, and actually as world economies slowed in kind of recent years, supply overtook demand and prices started to fall. So why did production suddenly go up? Why did this kind of happen? In essence, we commonly talk about US shale, what happened there. In essence, in a very quick nutshell, is that new technologies and also some very positive finance based on the high oil price allow new producers to enter the market to actually flood at least the US in terms of shale gas, both oil and gas, into the market. This actually delayed impact on the global market purely because the US doesn't necessarily have huge export terminals to sell the shale products on the global market, but actually because the US is one of the world's largest producers, it did mean that as far as these shale gas plays were concerned, they could sell into probably one of the biggest markets in the world, get rich in the process, and actually this is one of the major reasons why the USA really boomed out of recession and was doing very well economically. On the next question is all to do with, well, is it in the long term? How do we see it going? And my own personal opinion is that actually if you look at recent events, not only the huge billion-dollar investments all around the world to develop new kind of production facilities, but actually there was a recent deal with Iran, all to do with removing economic sanctions, and actually Iran are the world's third largest producer or potential exporter to the global market, who are suddenly back at the table. And actually say Iraq, for instance, if they can kind of achieve political stability, they're actually predicted to be the world's largest oil and gas producer by 2035. So my own personal opinion is that actually I can't see the production is going to slow down. It may for a number of different factors, actually, when the fact of the low oil price means that people are actually getting a lower return on their investment, which actually means that lower investments are progressing. So actually I think it will flatten out, but it's not a simple issue to kind of discuss. Fast forward to kind of where we are now. In essence, we have a whole number of oil producing regions where they're all very conscious that if they throttle back production, essentially someone will just take their place. I must admit, if you're in business selling anything from pens to paper clips, you want to keep your market share, and if a competitor comes in, or you know that you throttle back your production and someone else is going to take your market share, why would you? I mean, I understand that we're all business kind of people. So actually the world is kind of in this chess game at the moment where nobody wants to throttle back production, but likewise everybody is kind of suffering with the low oil price. So I must think, what's next? Why does this happen to us? How can we kind of work around it? So in the North Sea, we're actually very good at what we do, world leaders in exploration, production, and also the supply chain. But in essence, we can't deny that we are a fairly kind of high cost region, which at a high oil price is fine. But actually where we are now, people are really having to be innovative to look at what they do differently and how we can kind of move forward together. So as for kind of companies, what does this mean for business models, for products, for how we do business? We really do have to start from scratch. We have to reevaluate what we do, how we do it, and at least at Nortec we're all about delivery. So we've really honed back to really deliver what the clients want and need, but actually do it in a way that is sustainable in the current oil price, and actually we're very confident will help take the market forward. So the question then happens, so what does this mean for the North Sea? How does this affect the UK supply chain, and where do we see it going in the future? Is it time to call time on the North Sea? Should we just give up and say, you know what, we've had a good run, we probably can't operate in this market, so we'll see what happens? And I must admit my genuine honest answer to this question is no. When you speak to the operators, we work hand in hand with many of them, that actually we have some extremely smart people looking at the problems, looking at how can we do business differently, how can we improve operating efficiency, but also improve the way we do it, improve business efficiencies, but also work closely with the supply chain to do things smarter, faster, better and cheaper. So what does this mean for kind of supply chain companies? How should we adapt to kind of move forward? A few different things. One is just get very, very good at what we do. UK companies are some of the best in the world, and we've got very good at adding value to our clients, and actually we need to do that more so. We really need to kind of look at our organisational structures, how we're set up. Now, I must admit, moving forward to kind of survive in the current market, it's all about lean delivery and kind of operational excellence, really kind of quality of service, quality of delivery. But also never be afraid to look outside your kind of borders, look for potential oil and gas projects around the world, but also new markets like renewables, but also onshore chem, petrochem, utilities, and especially industries where when oil price is high, their chemical feedstocks are also high, so actually it affects their business. But likewise, low oil price actually really helps some industries. So actually, if you can hedge your risk, it makes perfect sense to work multi-sector, and that's something that we do at Nortec. So actually, there's a whole range of things that companies can do to help survive the oil price. It's kind of look at yourselves, look at what can we do, leaner, faster, smarter, better, and really kind of work hand in hand both with your suppliers and buyers to really kind of find the best possible solutions to take to the market. And I must admit, if you can do that and you can make it work, I guarantee there'll be huge global kind of success should you be able to then sell that to clients around the world.